Hi there, it's Jill Sessa. I just came in from a ride and I had some really funny ideas about how taking care of my beloved 1965 Vespa here has a lot to do with how you run your online marketing business. For one, nothing is really new. It's just shinier, okay? So this bike actually runs on exactly the same principles as something that's just brand new. So if you get to know your basics, that's the most important thing, then you can do anything. Don't just jump on the hottest, newest, greatest thing because you think it's going to be the answer. You need to know your marketing strategies, number one. That's absolutely primary. Okay? Number two, have a few great tools and really know how to use them. So when I go out on my bike, I never ever leave without this case having my spark plug wrench and some other little metric wrenches and a screwdriver. With that, I can take care of almost every problem that I might encounter. So think about it. Make sure that you're specializing in a couple of great tools. Something, whether it be email marketing, blogging, like I like to do. I'm just starting to do these videos, but I consider them to be part of my blogging. Maybe it's Facebook, maybe it's pay-per-click advertising, maybe it's YouTube. Specialize in it, really learn it, know it well. I was actually just out for a ride, and whenever I fill up with good gas, which is sort of funny, I end up with this little problem with my spark plug. And so I ended up having that problem, and luckily I know how my tools work, so I'm able to put them into action. Kind of the inverse of that, make sure that you go to the experts when something that you encounter is above your pay grade. So right now, I have a feeling that I'm having a problem with my clutch cable. I'm going to bring it down to this guy, Robbie. He's just the most amazing scooter guy. He's based down in Red Hook, Brooklyn, and I'm glad I know him. I trust him with the things that are just beyond me. It would take him no time to do it, where it would take me a long time of struggling and maybe even be a safety issue. So if you've got a question, something that you're working on, and you're not quite sure how you're supposed to deal with it, turn to a mentor, find an expert, cut some time off of your learning curve, and have somebody else help you out. You might learn something new there, but that way you don't have to worry about specializing in something else, okay? So always turn to your experts. Now, I'm going to tell you, nothing will attract people more than watching a girl take out a floral hammer, and this is also a screwdriver set, and do something that they don't expect. So there I was. You can see how I'm dressed. See, I'm in a dress, I'm in a necklace. I was actually out like this today, and I had this problem with my spark plug. So what did I do? I hopped over. I actually still was wearing my helmet and started taking care of the bike. Well, before you know it, I was a magnet. I had 8 or 10 people surrounding me at one point going, "Hey, I can't believe you know how to do that. That's awesome. Where'd you get your bike?" Doing all these things, asking me all these questions. Isn't that the essence of attraction marketing? Think about it. People were curious. I was doing something unusual. I was doing something different. And my screwdriver has flowers on it. So do something that sets yourself apart. Be uniquely you. There I was dressed up beautifully. Somebody even said, "Wow, you're feminine and you're out here getting greasy. I love it." So just be something a little bit unusual. And then my last point that I learned from taking care of my Vespa today is talk to people. Well, I've learned this already. Obviously, I don't have a problem with the power of the gab. But it's not just answering the questions that they're asking of you. Obviously, I was doing something fun. All the people that stopped by loved my bike, wondered where I had it. But more importantly, I started some conversations. And somebody talked to me about it. He seemed to know what he was doing. So I asked him about it. We ended up in this great conversation. Well, guess what? I mentioned Robbie before, the great scooter mechanic that I go to. This was his next door neighbor. And I was 10 miles from Robbie's shop. So don't you think I made a nice connection there? Would I have found that out if I didn't start to ask him questions? Would I have made a new connection if I just made it all about me? One of my mentors, Todd Falcone, and he has a great line. And he always talks about Make sure that you're being interested more than you are being interesting. So yeah, it's certainly for sure that I'm rather interesting when I'm riding a 1965 vintage bike that's, thank God, older than me. But it's interesting, it's fun, it's quirky. People don't expect to see it. They love the floral box. I've got actually this is a bowling case that I use as my glove box. It's green, it's fun. It's obviously, I'm having a great time when I'm on it. But what good does it do? Anything that I'm interested in with people is talking about my bike. How about if I start connecting with them, asking them questions? Well, I got this person's name. I also got a second name of somebody who's interested in buying some bikes. And the first guy actually has a couple to sell. I'm in business. Do you think I'm going to try to make that connection and work out a little bit of a deal there? Absolutely. Then if you think that if I find out that they're sharp people, that they're interesting, that they're business savvy, Robbie's a great business person, so this guy might be too, great connection. But do you think that if I was interested more than interesting, that they're more likely to be compelled to talk to me and maybe be interested in what I do? So go out there. Maybe you're going to learn some lessons from your favorite toy, like the Vespa is mine. And I would love to hear what lessons you learn from everyday experiences in your life. Great to see you. Thanks for stopping by.